welcome to the deep dive. You know, when we decide to learn something new, like playing guitar or maybe coding, there's often this idea floating around, this belief that you either have that natural talent or you just, well, don't. And this really seems to stick when it comes to languages. I mean, how many times have you heard someone say, maybe even said it yourself, oh, I'm just not good at languages, especially about English. But what if talent isn't really the main thing? What if the sources we've looked at point to something else entirely, something you actually can control? Our deep dive today is all about that, how motivation is really your superpower for learning English. So our mission is to unpack how you unlock that potential, not through boring drills, but through genuine motivation and this really cool technique called shadowing. We want to show you why it works, how to do it, and importantly, how to make it genuinely interesting, fun even.
Exactly. That's the heart of it. Learning, especially a language, is never a straight line, is it? There are ups, there are downs. And to keep going through all that, you need fuel, consistent fuel. And our research really points to two main things for keeping that motivation tank full. First, making the learning process itself actually enjoyable, something you look forward to. And second, making sure it feels deeply meaningful for your life. And this technique we're focusing on, shadowing, it's a practical way to hit both of those points. It's a real game changer for moving towards fluency.
Okay, so let's dive right into that inner fuel motivation. It's basically the why, isn't it? The reason you bother, the energy pushing you. Think about those big goals people have, like, traveling easily, chatting with friends overseas, maybe getting a better job. These aren't just daydreams. They become the actual fuel. And what's really interesting is that motivation, well, it isn't fixed. It's like a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
You can train it, you can build it up, and you need to protect it.
That's a great analogy. And when that motivation is strong, English stops feeling like homework, right? It becomes a hobby. That's the enjoyable part. Using movies, music, maybe games you already like. And the meaningful part connects it directly to your goals. Studying abroad, understanding global news, whatever it is for you, it becomes a tool.
Yeah.
So maybe just take a second now, if you're listening, and ask yourself what our research suggests. Why do I really want to speak English? What difference will it make in my life when I'm fluent? Really think about that personal why. That's your anchor.
That why is so important, yeah. And we'll definitely come back to keeping it strong. But, okay, you've got the why. How do you do something with it? That brings us to shadowing, this technique everyone's talking about. So, simply put, shadowing is basically listening to someone speaking English, ideally a native speaker, and then you repeat what they say almost immediately. You're not just copying the words, though. You're mimicking the pronunciation, the rhythm, the intonation, even the emotion behind it. Like you're literally the speaker's shadow. Yeah. Following their voice that closely.
Exactly. And the benefits are, well, they're pretty impressive. First off, it really builds muscle memory for speaking. It's like an athlete practicing a specific move over and over. You're training your mouth, your tongue, your lips to make those English sounds correctly without thinking. It sounds like the difference between ship and sheep. Your muscles just start doing it automatically.
Okay. Automatic muscle memory. What else?
Well, second, it massively improves pronunciation. A lot of learners get stuck on the music of English, the intonation, the stress patterns of the rhythm. Shadowing helps you internalize that melody because you're copying native speakers directly. Think about what do you want to do kind of squishes together in natural speech.
Right, like what I want to do.
Exactly. Shadowing trains your ear and your voice to catch that natural flow. And third, it helps you speak faster and more fluently. Real fluency isn't just about knowing lots of words. It's about delivering them smoothly, quickly. Shadowing pushes your brain to stop translating everything in your head first. It builds what we call automaticity.
Automaticity. Like driving a car. You don't think about every single action after a while.
Precisely. It becomes natural, effortless.
And you mentioned confidence earlier, too.
Oh, definitely. That's a huge one. Our sources show that just the act of speaking English aloud every day makes you braver. You get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English. You worry less about mistakes. A lot of people start to feel like English speakers before they even have long conversations. That inner belief grows.
It sounds incredibly effective. But how does it actually work? Like, what's happening inside the brain when you're doing this? What's the science telling us?
Right. Yeah, the science is really cool here. Shadowing activates several key brain areas very effectively. It taps into something called neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change itself.
Exactly. Your brain isn't fixed. It can adapt and rewire itself based on experience and practice. Think of it like walking through a thick forest. The first time, it's hard work. You're pushing through branches. But if you walk the same path every day,
You create a clear trail, a
yeah,
smooth path.
precisely. Consistent shadowing creates that smooth mental road for English in your brain. And specifically, there are three main areas that get a workout. First, the auditory cortex. That's the listener part of your brain. It processes sound, recognizes the rhythm, the melody of the language. So as you listen intently and repeat, this area gets sharper. It boosts your listening comprehension and your pronunciation at the same time. Which was why, by the way, using good quality, clear audio is so important. Your brain remembers the patterns it hears, good or bad.
Okay, auditory cortex. What's next?
Second, the motor cortex. This is the speaker. It controls all the physical movements needed for speech, your lips, tongue, jaw, throat muscles. When you shadow, you're giving your motor cortex intense practice in forming English sounds, sounds that might be totally new for your mouth. It's pure motor learning. Your pronunciation gets smoother, more accurate, just like an athlete perfecting a skill.
Listener, speaker. What's the third piece?
The third is the prefrontal cortex. This is the decision maker, the part that handles grammar, vocabulary, understanding meaning. Now, here's the clever part. Because you're so focused on imitating a sound during shadowing, it actually helps reduce the mental chatter, that constant analyzing of grammar rules. You start building fluency through repetition, letting the words flow more naturally without overthinking. It kind of mimics how people become fluent when they live abroad.
Oh, like immersion. Constant exposure and practice without constantly stopping to analyze.
Exactly. Shadowing lets you create your own little English immersion bubble right at home. And it builds that automaticity we talked about speaking without having to consciously think about every single word or rule, like knowing song lyrics by heart.
That makes so much sense, linking the practice to the brain changes. But let's be real. We all hit walls. Motivation fades. You feel tired, frustrated.
Oh, absolutely. That's completely normal. It's human. Our sources really emphasize that. Feeling unmotivated isn't a sign you should quit.
So the secret isn't having endless motivation.
No, not at all. It's about building a system, a routine, that keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel motivated. Consistency trumps intensity here.
Okay, so what are some practical ways to do that? How do you keep going when you feel stuck?
Right, so here are some concrete strategies from the research. First, remember your why. Seriously, that core reason you started. Don't lose sight of it. Write it down, speak confidently in meetings, visit New York, understand my favorite movies, put it somewhere you'll see it every day.
Keep that fuel tank topped up.
Exactly. Second, change how you measure progress. Stop focusing only on the giant goal of fluency. Look for small wins. Did you shadow for 5 minutes today? Success. Did you understand one new phrase? Success. Maybe jot down one tiny English accomplishment each day. It builds momentum.
I like that. Small wins add up.
They really do. Third, use the 2-minute rule. Feeling lazy, just commit to doing 2 minutes of shadowing. That's it. Often you'll find you keep going, but even if you stop after 2 minutes, you did something. You kept the habit alive. It lowers the barrier to starting.
Takes the pressure off.
Totally. Fourth, and this connects to our theme, make learning fun again. If your shadowing practice feels like pulling teeth, change it. Shadow a hilarious comedy sketch, try singing along to a song, mimic a dramatic movie monologue. Make it interesting for you.
Yeah, don't just shadow weather reports if you hate weather reports.
Please don't. Fifth, track habits, not perfection. Get a calendar, use an app, whatever works. Just put a check mark for every day you practice, even if it's just for those 2 minutes. Seeing that streak grow is surprisingly motivating. Sixth, and this is important, don't compare your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20. Everyone learns at their own pace. Focus on your own journey, your own progress.
Good reminder. It's easy to get discouraged looking at others.
Very easy. And finally, celebrate your progress. Actively notice when you do something well. Did you nail a tricky sentence? Did you understand a podcast clip? Did you manage a short chat? Acknowledge it. Give yourself credit. Persistence, not perfection, is the goal.
That's a really solid toolkit for staying motivated. Okay, so let's say someone's convinced they want to try shadowing. How do they actually start? Especially if they're a beginner. Our sources give a really clear step-by-step guide, right? Shows you don't need fancy equipment or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very accessible. Let's walk through the 7 basic steps. Step 1, choose the right material. This is key, especially for making it interesting. Find something short, maybe just 10 or 15 seconds to start. Make sure it's clear and something you actually find engaging. Could be a clip from YouTube with subtitles, a line from a movie you like, a bit of a motivational speech, maybe a slow podcast designed for learners, or even a children's audiobook. Just make sure it's a native or fluent speaker with clear pronunciation. Steer clear of robotic text-to-speech voices for this.
Okay, short, clear, and interesting. Got it. Step 2.
Step 2, listen carefully. No speaking yet. Just listen. Play the clip maybe 3 or 4 times. Don't read along yet. Focus your attention on the sounds, the pronunciation, the intonation, where the stress falls, how words link together. Try to hear that music we talked about.
Like hearing I'm going to the store become I'm going to the store.
Exactly. Train your ear first. Then, step 3, shadow, along with the audio. Now you speak. Play the audio again and repeat immediately after the speaker, or even try to speak at the exact same time. Don't aim for perfection right away. Focus on copying the sound, the rhythm, the overall feeling. Do this maybe 5 times or more, and speak up. Don't whisper. Your mouth needs the practice. Use subtitles here if it helps initially.
Okay, listen, then repeat multiple times. What's step 4?
Step 4. Read the transcript and understand the meaning. After you've tried shadowing by ear a few times, now look at the text. Read it through. Look up any words you don't know. Make sure you understand what the sentence actually means. Then maybe say the sentence slowly yourself, trying to capture the feeling or intent behind it. Connecting sound to meaning is vital.
Makes sense. Connect the sound to the meaning, then.
Step 5. Repeat the shadowing without looking. Okay, now hide the transcript again. Go back to just the audio. Try shadowing again, relying only on your ear and your memory. This is where the real learning starts to sink in, where it becomes more automatic. Keep repeating until it feels relatively smooth and natural coming out of your mouth.
Okay, practice without the text. Step 6.
Step 6. Record yourself and compare. This can feel a bit weird at first, but it's so useful. Use your phone, record yourself shadowing the clip, then listen back to your recording and compare it to the original audio. Don't be overly critical, just notice. Where does your pronunciation sound different? Is your intonation similar? This self-assessment helps you pinpoint areas to focus on next time.
Notice. Don't judge too harshly. Okay. And the final step.
Step 7. Practice daily with short sessions. Consistency really is everything. Aim for just 5 or 10 minutes every single day rather than one long session once a week. You could have a simple routine. Pick a sentence, listen, shadow with text, understand it, shadow without text, record and compare. That's it. And try to avoid common beginner mistakes, like choosing audio that's way too long or difficult, speaking too quietly, only focusing on individual words instead of the flow, or getting discouraged easily.
That's a fantastic, clear roadmap. And you mentioned earlier, making it fun, making it interesting is so crucial for sticking with it. Shadowing doesn't have to be dry repetition. Our sources had some really creative ideas for that, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. This is where you can really tailor it to your personality and keep things fresh. Here are a few fun ideas. Shadow your favorite characters. Pick characters from TV shows, movies, even cartoons you enjoy. Try to mimic not just their words, but their tone, their emotion, their speed, maybe even their facial expressions. It connects learning directly to emotion, which boosts memory.
Huh. I can see people having fun with that. What else?
Turn song lyrics into shadowing practice. Choose songs with clear vocals that aren't too fast. Thing like the Beatles' Let It Be or John Lennon's Imagine. Listen to a line, pause, repeat it, trying to match the singer's stress and melody. Great for your ear, voice, and memory.
Music is always engaging. Good one.
Create shadowing playlists by topic. Organize short audio clips into playlists based on what interests you. Maybe you have a travel English playlist, a business idioms one, a funny quotes one. Keeps things organized and lets you focus on relevant vocabulary. Use voice assistants or AI tools. Practice asking questions to Siri or Google Assistant or an AI chatbot, then shadow their responses. Or try saying things in different ways and see if it understands. It's interactive and gives immediate feedback.
Oh, that's clever, using the tech we already have.
Right. Also, record a mini podcast or voice diary. Shadow a useful sentence, then take a moment to record yourself saying a few sentences about it in your own words, like, I just shadowed, let's touch base tomorrow, this is useful for work, because it builds confidence and gives you a record of your progress. You could also add movement or walk while shadowing. Don't just sit there. Stand up, pace around, or even go for a walk outside with headphones while you shadow. Research shows movement can actually help with memory and focus. Maybe act out the phrases physically.
Get the body involved too. Nice.
And maybe challenge yourself with voice switching. Find a short dialogue clip, an interview, a movie scene with two people. Try shadowing one person's lines, then switch and shadow the other person's lines. It really sharpens your listening skills and understanding of conversational back and forth. And lastly, consider joining a shadowing challenge. Sometimes a simple challenge, even just for yourself, like shadow one new sentence every day for a week, can provide that extra push for consistency. It's all about keeping it dynamic and, well, interesting.
Those are brilliant. So many ways to prevent boredom and make it feel like play instead of work. But even with all these tips, someone listening might still have that nagging doubt. Can I really do this? Can I go from struggling to actually being a confident speaker? And our sources offer some powerful reassurance here through real stories, don't they? Examples of everyday people who started right where you might be now.
They really do. And these stories aren't about magic or special talent. They're about showing up, doing the work, and believing improvement is possible. Let me share a few. There's Ayumi from Japan. She described herself as incredibly shy, someone who would just freeze up when trying to speak English. She started small, 10 minutes a day shadowing TED Talks. After about 3 months, she noticed something amazing. Her mouth just didn't freeze anymore when she tried to speak. Eventually, she gave a presentation at her school. Her takeaway was beautiful. Shadowing helped me become friends with my voice.
Wow, from freezing to presenting. That's huge.
Isn't it? Then there's Daniel from Brazil. He needed to improve his English for an international job interview, especially struggling with natural conversation, like small talk. He spent about 15 minutes daily shadowing videos focused on professional English interview tips, workplace phrases. When the interview came, he said it felt almost like he was just repeating lines he'd practiced. He sounded natural, felt confident, and he got the job.
Amazing. Shadowing directly led to a job offer.
It did. And then there's Lena from Ukraine. Her story is about emotional connection. She fell in love with English through movies, particularly Pride and Prejudice. She didn't just shadow, she acted out the scenes, copying the characters' tones, attitudes, everything. It became this joyful passion for her. She started posting recordings online, and people actually asked if she was a drama student. Her point was, I'm just someone who loves English and practiced every day with my favorite characters.
Oh.
It was the love of the content that fueled her.
Making it truly meaningful and enjoyable for her?
Exactly. And one more, Mohammed from Egypt. He proves you don't need teachers or travel. He used his smartphone, podcasts, YouTube, audiobooks, just 10 minutes a day, often shadowing motivational speakers in front of a mirror. He built his pronunciation, his rhythm, and crucially, his confidence, all by himself. He even started his own YouTube channel later to inspire others.
These are incredible. So what's the common lesson here?
It's pretty clear, isn't it? They all started small. They were consistent daily practice. They chose content they genuinely enjoyed or found meaningful. They spoke aloud.
Yeah.
And they all fundamentally believed that their effort mattered more than some innate talent. The message is, you can copy this path. You don't need to move to London or hire an expensive tutor. Consistency with enjoyable material is the key.
That's incredibly empowering, and it leads perfectly into this final, really powerful idea, making English part of your identity, part of who you are. This isn't about, forgetting your native language or trying to sound exactly like someone from Chicago or London. It's about feeling that English belongs to you. It's one of your voices.
Precisely. It's a mindset shift, but a profoundly important one. And there are actions you can take to cultivate it. First, and this might feel bold, stop saying I'm not fluent. Start saying I'm an English speaker. Think about it. If you understand this conversation, if you've ever shadowed a sentence, if you can say hello, you are in fact speaking English. Change that internal narrative. Instead of I'm bad at English, try I'm improving my English every day, or English is becoming part of my life. Your brain pays attention to how you label yourself.
That's powerful. Change the self-talk.
Definitely. Second, create an English environment even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. Simple things. Change your phone language, your computer language. Follow English news sites or social media accounts. Write your shopping list in English. Talk to yourself in English while you're cooking. Surround yourself with it.
Passive exposure adds up.
It really does. Third, try to speak first. Think later. So many learners get caught in the perfection trap, waiting until they know exactly how to say something perfectly. Don't wait. Just try to say it, even if it's simpler. Use the words you have. Smile if you make a mistake. Breathe. Your brain learns fastest through repetition and trying, not through hesitation.
Get out of your own head a bit.
Exactly. Fourth, build emotional connections with English. We remember things better when feelings are involved. Watch movies that make you laugh or cry in English. Read stories that inspire you. Maybe keep a short personal journal in English about your day or your feelings. That emotional link deepens the learning. Fifth, use English as a tool to create, not just consume. Don't really listen and read. Start using English to do things. Write comments on videos. Post something short on social media. Try writing a poem. Maybe even make a funny meme in English. When you actively create with the language, you take ownership of it.
Become a producer, not just a consumer.
Well put. And finally, let English reflect the real you. Don't feel you have to adopt some generic English speaker persona. Find your voice. Use words you actually like. Talk about topics you genuinely care about. Let your unique personality shine through. Your English doesn't need to sound like anyone else's. It just needs to sound like you.
Wow. What an incredible journey we've covered today. We started with unlocking motivation, really understanding that why. Then we dove deep into shadowing what it is, why it works scientifically, how to do it, and crucially, how to make it fun and interesting. We heard inspiring stories, and now we've arrived at this idea of making English part of your identity. You're definitely not the same learner you were when we started this conversation. You're equipped, you're informed, you're hopefully inspired. So maybe the takeaway is this. Don't just say, I'm learning English. Start saying, I'm living English. This language is yours now. Own it.
Beautifully said. And maybe here's one final thought to leave you with, something to really consider. Perhaps the most powerful sentence you can say to yourself today is simply this: I am an English speaker, and I'm just getting started. Don't just let this be another thing you listen to. Take one small action. Choose one sentence today. Maybe from this very conversation, maybe from a song, maybe from a movie. Just one. Listen to it. Repeat it out loud using the shadowing technique. Start building your voice, your rhythm, your confidence right now. So what's your first sentence going to be? Think about it. That simple act, that single sentence, that's the real beginning of your fluency.